Hello everybody. In this video we're going to talk about analyzing and modeling production externalities. Without further ado, let's go and get started. So the setup is going to be as follows. In the case of production externalities, we will see that production decisions made by one firm will negatively impact the profit made by another. In this case, and throughout the rest of this video, we're going to consider the case of a negative externality. So in this case, we're going to have two firms. We're going to have firm 1 and firm 2. Where we're going to say Pi is going to be the price of good I sold by firm I. So firm 1 is going to sell X1 and firm 2 is going to sell X2. Ci, Xi is going to be the cost of producing good I by firm I. And Ex1 here is going to be the cost of the externality imposed by firm 2 on firm 1 in this context. Now we're first going to consider the case of private optimums. And in this case, we're just looking at what is the profit maximizing rule for each of these firms on their own. So this is just going to be given by their first order condition, or where marginal revenue is going to be equal to marginal cost. This is just going to be where P1 is equal to the marginal cost of producing good X1 for firm 1, and firm 2 is going to produce where P2 is going to be equal to the marginal cost associated with producing good X2. We'll see that X1 is overproduced since it does not consider the external cost Ex1, which it causes to firm 2. And this is going to be bad from a social perspective. To see why this is the case, we need to talk about our social optimums. To talk about what a socially efficient output is, we need to go and define our planner's problem. In this case, we're going to look to maximize the joint profits of both firm 1 and firm 2. So we're going to think about them being merged together. Rewriting this planner's problem and then taking their first order conditions, we see that we go and get another set of optimality conditions. We see that the optimum for firm 2 does not change. However, our optimum for firm 1 will fall simply because we have another cost component here, which is going to include the marginal damage caused by firm 1 to firm 2. Looking at these results graphically, we go and we plot this out as follows. So we have P1, which is going to be a constant, and we're going to have two different marginal cost curves. The first case where we have our private optimum as given by X1 star, and our second case is where we have our Pareto optimal output of good X1. In that case, it's going to consider the sum of both the marginal cost of producing good X1 and what we're going to refer to as the marginal damage caused to firm 2 by producing X1 here. So that's just going to shift it back. And what that means is that each unit of X1 is really more expensive in this case when we start considering the social cost. In general, for negative externalities, the Pareto optimal output will always be below our competitive optimums. Now, just as a last word here, the usual tool that is introduced to talk about correcting these negative externalities is with Bovian Taxes. And the way we do that is simply by updating our polluter's profit function. In this case, our polluter is firm 1. Our private optimum for firm 1 is still determined by our first order condition, but this time, because we've added in this tax per unit, we end up with a first order condition which has this other term T1 here. Now, comparing this optimum to our planner's optimality condition here, and just equating them to each other, we have a result which says that the tax per unit of good X1 produced should be set to the marginal damage of unit X1 produced. This being as follows, where we have T1 being equal to the derivative of our damage function, which is caused to firm 2, in this case, through the production of X1. So this is everything you have to know conceptually before going and getting into practically solving problems with negative externalities. In the next couple videos, we are going to work through a few examples. So I will see you there.